G'day, I'm Shane, the bloke you're about to see in the video. If you're looking for a highly polished tutorial on how to do this, this isn't it. I'm just a guy doing stuff before his morning coffee. But have a look, see how to get the job done, and watch me as I do my best impression of Andrew Stain from The Gods Must Be Crazy, bumbling my way through the whole process. Enjoy. Alright, time to deflate some tyres. Got this King's $49 tyre double tyre deflator. Unfortunately, it's got a couple of critical errors or design flaws, so I'm going to show you how to fix it for $20. Excuse the funny sounding vocals. Smashed a crown off this morning. So yeah, sound a bit funny. Alright, well, here goes. So this product, cheap canvas bag or material bag of some sort, not much good, but it does the job. You've got an air manifold, one valve, your pressure gauge, and two hoses, which you definitely don't want to get the air fittings on the end clogged up with sand. Otherwise you're just burning time cleaning it out. So probably maybe don't tangle it up like I have this time. Alright, so what we're going to do is attach to two tyres at once. You want to do both rears or both fronts together, except when you plug one end in, air just starts gushing out the other end. So if you're trying to get nice accurate tyre pressures, it's kind of impossible to do with one person. So let's fix it. But I might need some caffeine first. So I'm going to crack open the kitchen. No way that's enough. Good thing I come prepared. When it comes to coffee, I'm a little bit obsessed with making good ones. I found the AeroPress to be pretty damn good for overland travel and camping in general. Like, it's so light, super resilient, it's not going to break. You make a pretty good coffee out of it. It does draw a fair bit of heat out of your whole coffee, but I get a little bit of mug priming and just heating it up just a little bit to, yeah, I guess take a bit of that cold edge off of it. So like tea, one for the pot and one per person? Nah. Geez, it's odd speaking with a tooth missing. Funny feeling. Kind of wish I could go back and tell 12-year-old Shano not to fang over that jump so fast on a bike. From memory, did a couple of slower run-throughs, a bit more manageable. And then just hit this dirt mound at like flat neck, completely cleared the landing ramp, and I think the gooseneck broke or like just like adjusted when I landed, and yeah, smashed this guy out. With me mate Josh. Remember that one, Josh? Long time no see, man. Hope you're well. That's the stuff. All right. Just gonna pack up the kitchen and open up the workshop. All right. Should we head to the workshop? Here's the workshop. All right. Change of perspective coming up. All right. Hopefully that works. So, here is what we're fixing. Get this up out of the way. You don't need many tools. Set of spanners should have you covered. A couple of these bad boys from Bunnings. So we're talking just a valve with the BSP 1/4 inch fittings on it. You need two of them. I think they were like $8 something at Bunnings. And I'm going to use thread sealant, but you could just use the plumber's tape, like the Teflon tape. That would get you sorted. You need some spanners. I got some ring spanners here. Let's get out a few of them. I reckon that should have us covered. That's all you need. Shifters would do. You could maybe do it with pliers. But yeah. Alright, so first things first, let's take out these guys. So that is a 14mm fitting there. So we're going to get this out, and we're going to try not to get any sand or crap onto there. So I'm just going to fang that one over. Same deal on the other side. Now they've used some kind of a thread sealant, so you might need to clean that. They've used a little bit in here. I've had this one off before. They used a heap in there. Unfortunately, no little wire brushes or anything, so I'm just going to use some paper towel and hope that does the job. Give them a bit of a clean out. That one looks pretty good, to be honest. So does that one. That's not too bad. It's not exactly a premium application I'm using it for, so I'm not going to stress too much about that. Alright, so we got some valves. Figure out how to get into these. I'm going to dispose of my waste appropriately, because that's the kind of person I am. Not leave anything lying around in the beautiful Borenup forest. What you want to do is just get a nice amount, if I can get any amount to come out. Oh, there we go. Onto the thread. You don't want to go too overboard with this stuff, but you definitely want to make sure you've got enough in there to create a seal and lock that thread into place too. Without having excess go everywhere. So like that should be fine. So I'm going to put that back in.
Hang on, Shano.
You're gonna what? It's funny sometimes. You plan things out in your head exactly how you want it to be. And look at me in front of the camera, confidently explaining everything that I'm doing, not realizing that I'm putting it back together exactly how I took it apart. Here's the moment of realization.
Geez, I'm an idiot. Let's just backtrack that. Don't get distracted, people. Well, better hurry now. Right, let's get a little bit more of this on. Right. Now get the valve on. Just give that a little nip. Again, not too tight. Right, a little bit more of this stuff on here. And now, let's try that again. Well, that's going to be an issue. Let's just whip this bad boy off. Little nip. Let's get this one out before she goes off. Sometimes you go to do a simple job like this, make one silly mistake. Things get a little messy, but doesn't matter as long as the finished product's there. I'm just being careful to position these valves where I'll be able to access them. So that should be good like that. A little bit more of this on here. Bit of a nip up. Now that I got myself in a nice mess, this guy back on. That's where she wants to sit, so she can stay there. All right, this stuff, got to wait for it to cure. It's probably the only disadvantage against Teflon tape. 10 to 20 minutes it says on the thing. So while that cures, I'm gonna clean up this mess that I've made and finish my coffee. I don't really like the way that's not sitting flush, but probably back it off a little and add more thread sealant. In fact, I might do that. Geez, it's about right now that I'm missing my workshop.
That's it, Shane. Get plenty in there. So because this thing didn't sit right, with the thread all the way done up, I'm having to just rely on the sealant to get the job done.
Right. Bit excess.
So I'm putting a bit of extra in for good luck.
And we'll just pop it right there, nice and flush. All right. Leave that to do its thing. Well, while that cures, let's go have a look at some stuff. So this is Blowing Up Forest, and it is known for its beautiful
Curry trees.
marry trees? Garry trees. I get them mixed up. Pretty sure they're curry trees.
Pretty nice, huh? So, been told before by a mountain bike guide down here when I was running a school camp back in the day, but this is actually the first replanted forest after logging in the world. Excuse me while I get used to talking without this tooth, it's kind of weird. So all this forest was logged from the start of the 1800s or somewhere in there until maybe like the early 1900s, and then replanted. The story I heard was the bloke that owned the logging company, his wife said that, nah, you can't cut down all those trees without replanting them. So they replanted them. Maybe that's just a funny story. I think they made a like seedling business after that. So maybe it was just a way for him to earn more money, but either way, standing in this big, beautiful forest right now, it's pretty nice. How are these flowers? Pretty nice. The bird calls. Bird calls? Pretty amazing down here. You can just hear them firing off from all different directions. Geez, I'm looking forward to getting this crown done. Only had it put on a few days ago. Came off this morning while eating a piece of toast. And yeah, first world problems really. I'm still looking forward to it. All right, let's get back to the job. I'm just going to look for some of the wet stuff. Oh yeah, she's still very wet. You know what? I'm just going to leave that for longer than it needs. Maybe go for a drive, check back in. Problem solved. Why they didn't just make it properly the first time, I don't know. But no worries. Now that that's done, it's time to get amongst it. Thanks for watching. Maybe check out some of my other videos if you're interested in whatever this weird style is I've got going. Cheers.